This is a weird one, but I was thinking about isolation and the whole idea of isolation. Canadians are super good at isolating ourselves. This is my neighbor's place. I'm standing in my jet tub right now, which I never use because that would take too long. And I'm fast and good looking. We gotta get the things moving. I have time for showers most of the time, but I'm more of a cologne man. Thank you, Homer Simpson. No, I shower. We have some of our neighbors here when we came to plant a church in Airdrie, Alberta. And if you need some, small groups, if you need virtual church, go to venuechurch.ca. We'll hook you up with a group wherever you live in the world. You can go face to face and screen to screen with people, and you can experience our live worship experiences that we're still going to be putting on and interact with us there. But when we came here, it was interesting because we moved into the best part of our city. So it's kind of like a wealthy neighborhood, just 2 blocks down there. They have houses that I could never afford. But we like the area, we like the school, we like the walking paths. I came out with good equity to be able to do this and to be able to afford this house, which cost me another 100,000 plus to get in here. But I came from the trades, from the electrical trade, so I actually used to make money before I was pastoring. But when we came here, we have these neighbors that are used to, I worry about them right now because they're so isolated. They always were isolated. We used to annoy them because we'd have, when you started a church, our offices were here in our home and we constantly had people over. And I remember thinking to myself, like, you're so irritated that we have people over, and we tried to get people to park around the block and rather than park in front of our house and annoy all of our neighbors or their houses. So we tried to get them to park around the block, and they called us in on New Year's, the next day after New Year's, because we had like a New Year's Eve party here after we did a huge service, and they called us into the bylaw, which is hilarious to me because they were mad because people parked in front of their place on New Year's Eve, if you can imagine. And so I made a peace offering and I took a bunch of Starbucks cards and put them in the door and said, hey, we're trying to respect our neighbors and all of this. And the one guy, he put the card back in my door. I never told Erin about this because she would be mad. But he put the card back in my door and it was like, basically like, thanks a lot, we don't care. And so, but I worry about these people now because their lives already were very small, and this thing is just going to shrink people into their fears. My big idea is like, you have to prepare when the sun is shining for when it's not. And I think to myself, were they jealous all this time that we had all these friends? At one point I even said to myself, this is going to sound terrible, but I mean, I grew up in Los Angeles where the white kids keep their dang mouths shut. And I thought to myself, like, if we were like a Mexican family or Filipino or like, had barbecues and cousins, because like white Canadians don't have cousins. I'm Irish, like, we don't hang out. And so, but I was thinking, like, if we were a family from a different culture living here or just a different family oriented culture than we are, we'd have like 50 people over every couple of days, and I'm like, would they be mad then? But the reality of it is something about us as Christ followers would annoy them. And then my wife tried to invite one of our neighbors to church, hands her an invite card, which is super easy, and it's not like threatening at all. And it's my wife, everybody loves her. And she hands her the card and she wouldn't even take it in her hand. And I'm thinking to myself, I worry about people like that right now. And I hope that if you're isolated, that you start reaching out and connecting. You have to realize that you have to cross that threshold of scary to reach out and connect with somebody. There is this idea here, and here's what I would say. Some of you, if you isolate, you've been rejecting people before they could even reject you. That's not fair to people. You can do better than that, I think. And you have to just get to this place of courage where you can reach out. And if they reject you, they reject you. But it is what it is, and it's worth the fight, and it's worth people. It's worth people rejecting you to find your people. And hey, at venuechurch.ca, we would love to hook you up with some of your people, near or far. Friendships can cross any barriers now. There's no regional church anymore, I think. And so anyways, venuechurch.ca, come in, we'll get you together with a group.